Hello, I'm John Nellis. Welcome to Hub. Today, I'm joined by Bakar, who's going to share his first draft with us. If you want to see Bakar's drafts all season, sign up to Hub with the link in the description for a limited time offer of 50% off, and you can see this FPL Gurus teams every week. We're going to look at this from back to front. Do you want to tell us who your goalkeeper is going to be and maybe give us a short description why?
At the moment, I have Mendy in goal. Frankly speaking, I was a bit surprised to see him priced at 5 million because FPL tend to price the premium goalkeepers at 5.5 million or higher. So I think at 5 million, he's a bit of a steal. And Chelsea were third for clean sheets and expected goals conceded last season. So I think Mendy should offer a consistent stream of points. Chelsea have a very decent set of fixtures to begin with as well. They're playing just one of last season's top 6 in their opening 7 fixtures. So their fixtures look good. And Mendy at that price should offer a consistent stream of points.
Yeah, Mendy's value definitely jumped off the page at me. Have you gone for any of the Chelsea defenders next?
I have. Chilwell has been priced at 6 million. I think that's a very fair price for him. He was amazing for the spell he was fit for last season. He was averaging over 9 points per game actually in the 6 starts that he made. He had one of the best XGIs in the league when it comes to defenders as well, XGI per 90. So I think he can offer good value as well. And I think this is the year where you're more tempted to go with more premium defenders at the back because I see more value in defense, so I don't mind spending there given the explosivity and the reliability of the premium defenses out there.
Yeah, I think as well it's very bullish that you've gone for the triple up, but maybe that reflects the type of season we have ahead where, we're going to have the reset essentially for the World Cup and we've worked wild cards outside that and the start of the game. I've been seeing a lot of people talking about the time you can basically reset your team 4 times over the season, so maybe going for a really bullish triple up, aiming for fixtures is a good play. And on that note, I don't think it's any surprise who your next player is.
Yeah, I think James is probably one of the most locked in players in my team at the moment. He was only behind Trent when it came to XGI per 90 last season. We saw it time and again how explosive he was. I think especially if Chelsea continue in the 3-5-2 system, James is a much more integral part of Tuchel's system than he was early on when he became manager. And I have no doubts that he's going to come good again this season, provided that he stays injury free.
You've mentioned about going for big at the back, and these fullbacks are on everyone's mind. It's no surprise who your next 3 players are going to be. You have 5 at the back in your first draft. I won't spoil any more.
Next in my team is Andy Robertson from Liverpool. Now this is an interesting one because Diaz appeals to me as well, but I've sort of chosen Robertson over him simply because of the fact that I think that Robertson is slightly more explosive. When you look at points per start since Diaz's arrival, Diaz is averaging like 5.4 points as compared to Robertson's 7.2. Ever since he hit form in game week 14 last season, he never looked back, and only 3 players in the league have a better FPL points per game average since then, and he's proven himself in the past. So I mean, I don't think he's that high risk of a pick.
So next up, I think we have Robbo's little Scouser partner in crime.
Absolutely. I mean, Trent is the most locked in player in my team, I think, before game week 1. I was shocked to see him priced at 7.5 million. I mean, he's had over 2-3 seasons now where he scored like 200 points successively. So I see no reason why I feel haven't increased him in price. Even at 7.5, I think he's a bargain. When it comes to defenders, he was topping the charts for chances created, XGI, you name it, and he was top. And with Liverpool's opening fixtures, I think he's a bit of a no-brainer.
Yeah, he's the most locked player on my team. I'll be doing my team reveal later in the week, so make sure you subscribe to catch that. Next up, the last sort of fullback of the day.
It's Cancelo from City. Again, 7 million I think is a very fair price for him. He's playing for what statistically was the best defense in the league last season in terms of big chances conceded, XG conceded. And City have amazing fixtures to begin with as well. So I think Cancelo is kind of like a safe pick. He's very underrated when it comes to bonus accumulation, and he's right up there. Almost every single time City are to keep a clean sheet, he's doing really well for bonus. And statistically, when you look at his individual stats, he was top among all defenders for shots in the league last season, and also third among the Man City players for big chances created as well. So then again, I mean, these premium defenders, I mean, I'm all over them, and then they're it's really tempting to go with a big premium defense to begin with early on. I really can't pick between them.
My one question, I suppose, to you regarding the full sort of defensive block is, Man City and Liverpool were joint most clean sheets last season. I think they had 21 or 22. And Chelsea, maybe, when I actually went and looked at Mendy's scores, does the lack of clean sheets there maybe for Chelsea concern you, or is it more the attacking output you're looking for, or backing that they've improved this season? Because, Rudiger's gone. I just worry who they're going to replace. There's been rumours of Koulibaly, rumours of Matthias de Ligt. It's ballsy going for 3 of them straight off the bat.
I tend to look at every pick in isolation, John, and that's what I've gone for. I mean, you look at Chilwell at 6 million in isolation, you look at James at 6 million in isolation, look at Mendy at 5 million in isolation, and you think, oh wow, they're bargains basically at that price. So I don't really look at it that way, that I'm getting an X number of players from this team. It's sort of putting too many eggs in one basket, because I tend to look at each player in isolation. But yes, your concerns are valid, and if Chelsea don't end up signing more centre backs, or if they even there are rumours that they could actually play 4 at the back. If they go 4 at the back, then I'd be even more tempted to get rid of maybe Chilwell and Mendy, because James I think is locked in. But other than that, those 2 slots are open for debate. And as you said, there are other defenders like Perisic who can easily make my team, and he's someone who's I'm very sort of unsure about, and he can easily get into my team over someone like a Chilwell.
Very good. Well, look, we'll move on to midfield, and first up, captaincy for the first week. This one's a no-brainer, so we'll get him out of the way. Who is it?
It's Mo Salah. I mean, there are no prizes for guessing. I saw a few people complain about his price being on the high side, but I think regardless of that, he's still a lock for me, simply because of the fact that he's the most reliable captaincy option in the game, which sets him apart from the rest of the pack. That's why I think he's worth his weight in gold. And with Liverpool's opening fixtures, I think he's going to do really well. And another thing regarding him is that historically we've seen that in the absence of Mane, he steps up even more. So now that Mane isn't around, that could even benefit further.
Yeah, I mean, he always was the focal point, but now he's the absolute undisputed most experienced attacker and focal point. So yeah, there's no taking any penalties off the man. There's nothing. Everything's going through him. I just can't look past Salah myself. Next up, we're on to an enabler.
Yeah, next up is Pedro Neto from Wolves. He's in there simply because of his price. I think he's at 5.5 million. He's a low risk punt to take, and Wolves' opening fixtures are kind enough for me to consider someone like a Neto. I realize that Wolves aren't the most attacking team; they're not the most flamboyant team to watch, but I think Neto could have a role to play this season. I noticed that at the end of the season, Bruno Lage was playing a 3-5-2 with Neto basically playing up front, and in that spell, he was actually top among all Wolves players for chances created and second for shots. So his underlying numbers are decent. Most of the season last year was sort of impacted by injury, and he couldn't really stake a claim when it came to our FPL squads. But in the previous season, which was 2021, he got 13 attacking returns in that season as well. So it's not as if he doesn't have pedigree. I think he can have a role to play, especially given his price and the opening fixtures that Wolves have.
Yeah, he's probably going to be a very highly owned player going into the first week. I've seen everyone with Neto in there to enable the team. Another player who maybe was a little cheaper than people expected, or maybe he was buying on, is up next, also with arguably the best fixtures from the start.
Yeah, it's Gabriel Martinelli from Arsenal. Again, a lot of this comes down to how he does in preseason. He ended last season strongly, and it was very apparent that he had actually overtaken Emil Smith-Rowe for that left wing position in the Arsenal team. I think he's first choice at the moment, and if he does well in preseason, I think I'm going to go with him, because at 6 million with those fixtures, I don't think there's much to lose.
Yeah, I think it's tricky. There's a lot of Arsenal guys who I like the look of. No spoilers here for my team leader in the week, but I like Saka. I love Odegaard personally. I think he's going to do great next season. Maybe that's a bit biased. I just love him. Martinelli's looking great. We all remember Smith-Rowe. Jesus has come in. White, Tomiyasu, Tierney in defence. There's a lot of great value, a lot of good fixtures, and I think there's no wrong options in that team for me. But it's interesting to see how many people are leaning for Martinelli, and I think that 0.5 saving on the likes of Odegaard is definitely a big win. You'll take every $500,000 you can get to have the likes of Chilwell or James over a Perisic. We're going to move on to the forward line, and it's safe to say you've went big at the top as well.
Yeah, I mean, Haaland, firstly, I mean, I think he's been a lock in my team ever since that signing was announced. Even if he was like 12 million, I think I would have gone for him. It's simply because of his pedigree. He's coming on the back of 2 very successful seasons in the Bundesliga, where he got 49 goals in like 52 games. Seems like the ideal striker for City to get at this point in time as well. And I'm sure that he's going to get plenty of chances playing for that City team, where he's going to be provided plenty of service. And his finishing has been, he's actually outperformed his XG over the past 2 seasons as well. So his finishing is never in doubt. I think he's an excellent signing for City, and I would be very, very surprised if he backfires. I think he's absolutely locked in my team. And another reason is that he actually rotates very well with Salah. So for example, in game week 2, City have Bournemouth at home. I think he's a potential captaincy option in that week as well. And then City have Newcastle in at home in game week 4 or 5 as well. So those fixtures are too good for me to pass up.
That's interesting, because I've been kind of leaning more towards the Kane camp personally. I don't know why. I just think he's tried tested. I'd rather see a little bit of Haaland, and I think when you've got the 11.5 forward, you can pivot very quickly. But the ownership is going against me, and I'm starting to think I have to just go with the pack early. And on top of that, as you say, I hadn't actually clocked, so it's a great point. The rotation of captaincy with Salah, that could actually prove vital. So yeah, great shout. On to the next one, and this is a guy who, I don't know, I'm mixed opinions, but I'm interested to hear your reasons.
Yeah, Gabriel Jesus. I mean, I'm surprised to see him priced at 8 million. I was expecting 8.5 or 9 for him, to be very honest. Historically, his underlying numbers have been very good. Even last season, he was actually top among forwards for minutes per XG. I realized I was in a different team and in a different position, but I think he can be a very good fit in this Arsenal side. And I don't think he's a high risk pick at 8 million, because the opening fixtures are in his favor. He's a very good player. He will get the service. I don't see any reason not to go for him at the start, because he just looks to be that kind of premium striker that you're being able to afford for 8 million. So with Arsenal's opening fixtures, I think I'll probably go with him.
And I think I'm finding it hard to find a striker in that kind of 6 to 9 million mark that I actually would like to hang the hat on and really trust. And Jesus does kind of stand out in that value. Yeah. Okay, we're on to the subs bench. Who is your substitute keeper? I'd love to know if there's reason, or was it just a click a random guy?
It's Gazaniga. I've sort of gone through the 4 million keepers, and I don't expect any of them to be first choice. So you can honestly pick anyone. I've gone with Gazaniga because I don't see myself tripling up on Fulham anytime soon. So picking him won't sort of price me out of any other players that I want to select. That's basically the only reason behind picking him.
Okay, we have a substitute forward first on the bench.
Yeah, that's Greenwood. He did get some minutes at the end of last season, and I think for 4.5 million, he's the forward who I expect to play. Who I expect to play the most number of minutes. And that's it. He can be a decent squad filler, in case of any emergencies, if any injury happens, or if any unexpected rotation comes into play, he can fill in from the bench.
And then we've got 2 midfielders, because you've obviously went for a 5-3-2. So the 2 midfielders on the bench.
That's Jack Colback and Chukwuemeka from Villa. I expect these two to play, especially Colback. Chukwuemeka could actually be Andres Pereira now that signing is looking likely for Fulham. Again, these are players who I expect to play and to fill in case of any unexpected rotation, or if there's any unexpected injury. And I like this formation 5-3-2 as a whole, because I think there's more value to be had in the 6 to 8 million defenders as compared to the 6 to 8 million midfielders, which is why I have 2 4.5 midfielders in my team.
And yeah, just a little bit of sprinkling of flavour there for Chukwuemeka there. He was off at the under-19 Euros and he scored 3 goals. I think I've heard widely touted he was one of the MVPs, one of the best players of the whole tournament. So, maybe that'll be rewarded with even more minutes next season. But Bakar, it's been an absolute pleasure. We'll be seeing more of you on the channel this season.
For sure. I'm looking to, collaborate more in the times to come. I'm looking forward to working with you.
That's it, guys. Don't forget to use the link in the description to sign up to Hub for 50% off. This is a limited time offer, and you can catch Bakar's team reveals every single week, along with a million tools and other things. That link's in the description. I'm an affiliate. I'll get paid if you use it. And also, check out this video, which is where we went and had a good look at delved into the best value FPL player in every single team. See you next time. Bye-bye.